Yeah, you can start.
Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devim Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Katadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Advaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Advaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna everybody, we are reading from chapter 8, Madhya Lila, Chaitanya Charitamrita, and we are reading from text 55. After finishing his evening bath, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sat down and waited for Ramananda Raya to come. Then Ramananda Raya, accompanied by one servant, came to meet him. Text 56. Ramananda Raya approached Lord Sri Chaitanya and offered his respectful obeisances, and the Lord embraced him. They began to discuss Krishna in a secluded place. Text 57. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ordered Ramananda Raya recite a verse from the revealed scriptures concerning the ultimate goal of life. Text 58. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Vishnu, is worshipped by the proper execution of prescribed duties in the system of Varna and Ashrama. There is no other way to satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead. One must be situated in the institution of the four Varnas and ashrams. Text 59. The Lord replied, "This is external. You had better tell me some other means." Text 60. Ramananda Raya continued, "My dear son of Kunti, whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer in sacrifice, whatever you give in charity, and whatever austerities you perform, all the results of such activities should be offered to me, Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead." Text 61. This is also external, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said. Please proceed and speak further on this matter. Ramananda Raya replied, to give up one's occupational duties in the Varnashram system is the essence of perfection. Text 62. Ramananda Raya continued, occupational duties are described in the religious scriptures. If one analyzes them, he can fully understand their qualities and faults, and then give them up completely to render service unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Such a person is considered a first-class man. Text 63. As stated in scripture, Bhagavad Gita, chapter 18, text 66, after giving up all kinds of religious and occupational duties, if you come to me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and take shelter, I will give you protection from all of life's sinful reactions. Do not worry. Text 64. After hearing Ramananda Raya speak in this way, Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu again rejected his statement and said, "Go ahead and say something more." Text 65. Ramananda Raya continued, according to the Bhagavad Gita, one who is thus transcendentally situated at once realizes the supreme Brahman and becomes fully joyful. He never laments or desires to have anything. He is equally disposed toward every living entity. In that state, he attains pure devotional service unto me. Text 66. After hearing this, the Lord, as usual, rejected it, considering it to be external devotional service. He again asked Ramananda Raya to speak further, and Ramananda Raya replied, pure devotional service without any touch of speculative knowledge is the essence of perfection. Text 67. Ramananda Raya continued, Lord Brahma said, "My dear Lord, those devotees who have thrown away the impersonal conception of the absolute truth and have therefore abandoned discussing empiric philosophical truths should hear from self-realized devotees about your holy name, form, pastimes, and qualities. They should completely follow the principles of devotional service and remain free from illicit sex, gambling, intoxication, and animal shelter, surrendering themselves fully with body, words, and mind. They can live in any ashrama and or social status. Indeed, you are conquered by such persons, although you are always unconquerable." Text 68. At this point, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu replied, "This is all right, but still you can speak more on the subject." Text 69. Ramananda Raya continued, "As long as there is hunger and thirst within the stomach, varieties of food and drink make one feel very happy. Similarly, when the Lord is worshipped with pure love, the various activities performed in the course of that worship awaken transcendental bliss in the heart of the devotee." Text 70. Pure devotional service in Krishna consciousness cannot be had even by pious activity in hundreds and thousands of lives. It can be attained only by paying one price, that is, intense greed to obtain it. If it is available somewhere, one must purchase it without delay. Text 79. Hearing up to the point of spontaneous love, the Lord said, "This is all right, but if you know more, please tell me." Text 72. A man becomes purified simply by hearing the holy name of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, whose lotus feet create the holy places of pilgrimage. Therefore, what remains to be attained by those who have become his servants? Text 73. By serving you constantly, one is freed from all material desires and is completely pacified. When shall I engage as your permanent eternal servant and always feel joyful to have such a perfect master? Text 74. Hearing this from Ramananda Raya, the Lord again requested him to go a step further. In reply, Ramananda Raya said, "Loving service to Krishna rendered in fraternity is the highest perfection." Text 75. Neither those engaged in the self-realization of appreciating the Brahman effulgence of the Lord, nor those engaged in devotional service while accepting the Supreme Personality of Godhead as Master, nor those under the clutches of Maya, thinking the Lord, an ordinary person can understand that certain exalted personalities, after accumulating volumes of pious activities, are now playing with the Lord in friendship as cowherd boys. Text 76. The Lord said that this statement is very good, but please proceed even further. Text 77. Ramananda Raya continued, "O Brahmana, what pious activities did Nanda Maharaj perform by which he received the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna as his son? And what pious activities did Mother Yashoda perform that made the absolute Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna call her mother and suck her breasts?" Text 78. The favor Mother Yashoda obtained from Sri Krishna, the bestower of liberation, was never obtained even by Lord Brahma or Lord Shiva, nor even by the goddess of fortune, who always remains on the chest of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Vishnu. Text 79. The Lord said, "Your statements are certainly getting better and better one after the other, but surpassing all of them is another transcendental mellow, and you can speak of that as the most sublime." Text 80. When Lord Sri Krishna was dancing with the gopis in the Ras Lila, the gopis were embraced around the neck by the Lord's arms. This transcendental favor was never bestowed upon the goddess of fortune or the other consorts in the spiritual world, nor was such a thing ever imagined by the most beautiful girls in the heavenly planets. Girls whose bodily luster and aroma resemble the beauty and fragrance of lotus flowers. And what to speak of worldly women who may be very, very beautiful according to material estimation. Text 81. Suddenly, due to their feelings of separation, Lord Krishna appeared among the gopis dressed in yellow garments and wearing a yellow flower garland. His lotus face was smiling and he was directly attracting the mind of Cupid. Text 82. There are various means and processes by which one may attain the favor of Lord Krishna. All those transcendental processes will be studied from the viewpoint of comparative importance. Text 83. It is true that whatever relationship a particular devotee has with the Lord is the best for him. Still, when we study all the different methods from a neutral position, we can understand that there are higher and lower degrees of love. Text 84. Increasing love is experienced in various tastes, one above another, but that love which has the highest taste is the gradual succession of desires manifests itself in the form of conjugal love. Text 85. There is a gradual order of improvement in transcendental mellows from the initial ones to the later ones. In each subsequent mellows, the qualities of the previous mellows are manifested, counting from 2, then 3, and up to the point of 5 complete qualities. Hare Krishna Prabhu. I'll stop here.
Sure. Thank you so much, Mother. Yeah, let's go back. 57. We will discuss a brief context and then we'll go from there. So the context is here that we know Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is on the South India tour right now in this context of this chapter. And while going through, he was doing miracles by everybody who is coming in touch with him is converting them to devotees. They're not only ordinary devotees, they got Krishna Prema, all of them are feeling ecstatic symptoms like that. That's what we heard about his tour, who is coming in contact. Not only they're becoming devotees, everybody who comes in touch with them also become devotees like that. So then finally, in this particular stage, in this particular chapter, we heard how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to the bank of the Godavari river, and then he got to meet Ramananda Rai first time, and they were feeling ecstatic symptoms and meeting each other. And then later on, seeing that there are other Brahmanas who are not devotees are around, they met second time later on to discuss Krishna Katha. So now where we are right now is in the middle of that Krishna Katha discussion. So we'll go back to that verse now. I'll share my screen again. So this is what just now, till yesterday we saw how Ramananda Rai approached him, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and offered his obeisances, and then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu embraced him. And then they began to discuss Krishna Katha. Like that we stopped. Now this is a real crux of this whole chapter. And there's a conversation between Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Ramananda Rai. So interestingly, see where the conversation starts. Conversation starts right at recite a verse from the revealed scripture concerning what is the ultimate goal of life. Like that, there is the place their conversation is starting. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is asking him, Ramananda Rai. We go to book also to see if there any purport points. Yeah, Prabhupada makes in the purport. Oh, interestingly, in the book, yeah. Yeah, Ramananda Rai reply also is there in the book. Let me see. Yeah, Ramananda Rai reply is also in the book. Let me see if I click on this, it will show up more. Ah, yeah. Yes, the first point of the purport like that is described here. Basically, the moment he asked, Ramananda Rai replied with first answer. What does this say? If one executes the prescribed duties of his social position, he awakens his original Krishna consciousness. What he's talking about is Varnashrama principles. So if somebody executes prescribed duties of Varnashrama, then they will awaken Krishna consciousness. That's the point being made here. So these verses go one level higher, one level higher, one level higher, like that. So I'll give the overall synopsis first, and then we can go through verses so that it becomes easier. Essentially, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is pursuing through Ramananda Rai mouth what is the ultimate goal of life. So every time Ramananda gives an explanation, he either says Yehovah, it is external like that he says, first few times. So he goes one more notch higher, one more notch higher, one more notch higher, closer to the purest devotional service and spontaneous loving service like that. That's where he's going. This train is going like that. He's going like that. Finally, he reaches to the devotees in Dasaras, then Sakiras, Vatsalyaras, and then Madhuryaras. And then finally, this chapter goes through Srimati Radharani finally. That is the levels of devotion is going to expect Ramananda Rai to explain about now. So that's why it's starting with one. It's not that these things that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, no, like that it appears, and only the highest thing is highest. It doesn't, we should not take it that way. These are progressive. He's saying there is a progressive levels of higher development for a person who's endeavoring for perfection like that. That's how we need to see it. Yeah, we'll talk about it more when the Sarvadharma Parityajya verse also comes. So now 50th verse. Basically, here Ramananda Rai is not only, if you notice, Ramananda Rai is not only makes a statement, but he also supports with scripture reference. You probably notice Krishna's Karaj Goswami also does the same thing. He makes a statement or conclusion, and then quotes the scriptural reference like that. Same thing here also he is doing. If Senpat, he said, executing prescribed devotees is best, right? Now, let me go this verse. Yeah, apparently this is a verse from Vishnu Purana. This particular verse is Vishnu Purana, it seems, where he's saying Lord Vishnu is worshipped by proper execution of prescribed religion system of Varna and Ashma. So he did not make up anything. He's getting it from scripture only, telling that executing of Varna Ashma is the best, and that is the best way to satisfy Supreme Lord. Also, he's saying, and one must be situated in the institution of 4 Varnas and Ashramas. Of course, Varnas and Ashramas are important for us to practice bhakti. So, but what Lord Chaitanya Prabhu replies is, this is external. You had better tell me of some other means like that. So in the purport, Prabhupada writes in the purport of the next verse, one interesting section in this, interesting thing in this section is, Prabhupada makes a point why Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying external in the next verse purport like that. And that's how this goes, all of them like that. In 61 verse, he says external, 62 verse purport, Prabhupada writes the commentary of that like that. So basically, he's saying it is external. Why is it so? Because he says Varnashma in the next verse purport, Varnashma is not transcendental, but it refers to the 3 modes. Basically, 2 points being made. One is Varnashma has activities made done in the terms of modes, goodness, passion, ignorance, like that. Number 1. Number 2, people performing Varnashma activities, they're doing according to their tendency, like that. That means is still some self-centeredness is there. Mainly, that's the point Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is pointing out. They're still considered in the material realm, not the spiritual realm like that. Now going to the next verse, then Ramananda Rai concludes. Actually, this verse also has more content. Let me see. Yeah. So when you say external, Ramananda Rai replied, now not only to practice Varnashrama, but to offer the results of one activities to Krishna is the essence of all perfection, is saying. That means do Varnashrama activities and then offer the results to Krishna like that. That's the point. For that, he quotes another verse, text 60. Let me see. Where is this? Yatkarushi. Okay, this is a Bhagavad Gita verse. Yatkarushi Dashnasi, Jugosi Dadasiyat, Yatapasyasi Konteya, Tatkurushva, Madarpanam. Basically saying, what do you do, what do you eat, what do you offer in sacrifice, what are you given in charity, what are austerities you perform. All the results of such activities should be offered to me, Krishna. So it's quoting Krishna himself also in this verse, telling that offering the results, not only do the Varnashma duties, but offer the results also to Krishna like that. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu responds, saying that that's also external. Eho Bahya, he says commonly. Yeah. Eho Bahya, like that word, same word he uses. This is external. Please proceed and speak further on this matter. Ramananda Rai replied, to give up one's occupational duties in the Varnashram system is the essence of perfection, he says. So, actually, in this purport, Prabhupada writes about the why he's saying this giving results is also not higher. He says, even though when somebody is offering results to Krishna, that means they're recognizing Krishna as a supreme, and then offering results. That is true. That is a good thing. But still, the activities are on the material platform only, he says, because the activities are according to Varna and Ashrama based on his tendencies, right? Still, that is why is not the is still external. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is describing. Now, Ramananda replies to this: to give up one's occupational duty in the Varnashram system is the essence of perfection. Notice, first he made a point that Varnashram duties is best to satisfy Krishna. Then he said, do Varnashram duties and give results to Krishna. Now, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu didn't accept this too. Then he said, give up Varnashram duties like that. The next level is going like that. Let me see, 61 verse purport. Yeah, this term is called karma. Such renunciation is called karma tyaga, as described. The previous one is talking about, because this purport talks about the previous verse. Let me go to 61. So now the next term is used here is Swadharma Tyaga. In this verse, Swadharma Tyaga is used. That is relinquishing one's occupational duties. So why is this not good? First of all, this got good, not good because it says, without spiritual knowledge, simple detachment from material conditions is another side of material existence. Meaning, we hear in Bhagavad Gita also how Gnani focuses on detachment more than attachment to Supreme Lord. So that means giving up, like that. So he is being saying that is also material conditions only, because they don't have a higher spiritual knowledge. Not even any knowledge. Speculative knowledge also is not there at this stage. Any knowledge is not there in this at this stage. So that's why he's saying this is also external like that. Now going to 62, 63, actually is substantiating his statement with different scripture statements. 62 verses from Srimad Bhagavatam, this one. Srimad Bhagavatam, 11th canto, it seems. Occupational duties are described in the religious scriptures. If unless them, they can understand their qualities and faults in occupational duties. That is why they should give them up completely and render service to you. So basically giving them the activities, taking sannyas like that, talking about. Such a person is, this one verse is saying, and second verse is quoting is the Bhagavad Gita 1866, Sarva Dharma Parityajya, Mamekam Sharanam. Both are supposed to be highest. Remember, we talked about Bhagavad Gita, conclusion itself is this, and we talk in positive light always, right? This one. Because we focus not only on giving up occupational duties, but also we focus on coming to Krishna and taking shelter of him. That also is focused. That means we're taking this verse at the highest standard level like that. But here, in this context, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is emphasizing this portion. Gauranga Vaishnava Prabhu talks about. That's why he's saying, go next level like that. So now, interestingly, he doesn't say for this statement, is this external? He says, go ahead and say something more. Like that, text 64, let me see. Yeah, here also is saying external itself. This one also is saying external itself. Basically, the point is that without spiritual knowledge, simple detachment from material condition is another side of material existence, is describing like that. In the next few verses, it will come into place in one of the purports. Prabhupada writes that it's not just important to give up. What is important is to understand Krishna and have a relationship with him and situate in the service of Krishna like that. That's the next few purpose writes. Prabhupada writes. Now, Lord Chaitanya said, say something more. Now, 65th verse. This is talking about, oh yeah, this should have some other statement also. Yeah. Ramandara then replied, devotional service mixed with empirical knowledge is the essence of perfection, is saying. So, this is Jnana Mishra Bhakti. That means empirical knowledge means what Jnana Yogis practice. So that's what he is talking about, Ramananda. Next level. Can you guys hear me?
Prabhuji.
You can hear me okay? Yeah. Because somebody, usual regular participant is calling, so I was wondering. Okay, good. Okay, then. So that's what this is describing about, where Ramananda is now. Remember, in the previous section, he said, give up all activities. So now he's adding, use knowledge also, because Jnana Yogis do that, right? Detachment, they cultivate more and they add empirical knowledge, philosophical speculation, they do like that. That's a portion is adding. That's called Jnana Mishra Bhakti. And then he gives us, according to Bhagavad Gita, is saying, what is this verse? Yeah, Brahmabhuta Prasannatma, Nasochiti Nakankshiti, Samasarves Bhuteshu, Mad Bhaktim Lavate Param. So he's quoting the Bhagavad Gita verse also to support that statement. One who's translated is situated, then they're already in liberated platform, they're equal to everybody like that. Samasarves Bhuteshu. So then, text 66. After hearing this, the Lord, as usual, rejected it, considering it, this is also external devotion service. He again asked him to speak more. Ramananda Prabhu now says, pure devotional service without any touch of speculative knowledge is the essence of perfection. So why did he say external in the previous verse? Prabhupada explains in this purport. He says, bhakti, when it is mixed with mental speculation, is not pure bhakti. So remember the previous verse is talking about, answer is the Jnana Mishra Bhakti. But if it is mixed, but if that Jnana is based on mental speculation, not the devotional Jnana, then that is not coming to anywhere close to pure devotion service. That's why Lord Chaitanya rejects that also. Now he says, now Jnana Sunya Bhakti. That was Jnana Mishra, that means Jnana mixed with Bhakti. Now he says pure devotion service, Bhakti, without any touch of speculative knowledge, Jnana, is the essence of perfection. So for that he quotes, basically this is the verse from 10th canto. Gnane prayasa udapasta namanteva, this verse, famous verse like this. This is a verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, 10:14, I think, but verse number 3. Verse number 3 it seems. So basically this verse, what is it telling? The main thing this is telling is that forget about Jnana tendencies, which is forget about the impersonal conception of absolute truth, throw away that impersonal conception of absolute truth. That means not that the point concept that Lord doesn't have form, like throw away that conception. And also abandon discussing empirical philosophical truth. That means throw away philosophical speculation. In Nectar edition we hear, right? Bhakti Rasam Sindhu definition also. What is it? Anya Vilashita Sunyam, Jnana Karma Anadi. Jnana Karmadi Anavrutam, like that. So it should be free from Jnana and Karma tendencies like that. It should be not free from, it should not, Jnana and Karma should not overcover the Bhakti. Yeah. Free from is more extreme Acharyas describe. At least they should not cover us like that. So he's saying that give up the impersonal conception of the Supreme and then give up philosophical speculation. And then what to do positively? Negative things, what should I avoid? He is told. Now, what should do positively is hear from self-realized devotees. About what? About Krishna's holy name, form, pastimes, and qualities. These are the positive activities they should do. And then they should also follow the positive principles of devotional service and remain free from we follow these 4 regulated principles. Follow the 4 regulated principles like that. So that there is no gross sinful activities at least. That are represented by these sinful tendencies. Now then he says, surrendering themselves with body, words and mind. They can live in any ashram or social status. This is important point. Prabhupada emphasizes on this in the purport. Basically, sthane sthita is the word used. Basically, we can be brahmacharis, we can be grihasthas, we can be vanapastha, we can be sannyas. It doesn't matter. We can practice devotion service in any ashrama. It's not that only when we become sannyasi we can practice devotion service. Even as grihastha, we can practice devotion service. So we don't have to change the position to sannyasi just to practice devotion service. That's the point being made here. Then he says, indeed you are conquered by such persons, although you are unconquerable. So this is a beautiful verse. Now Chaitanya Mahaprabhu changes the shift from it is external to that's all right, like that. So let's look at this. What is Bengali? Eho haya. Earlier Eho bahaya he was saying that is external. Now he's saying this is all right. Speak something more, like that. That the shift happens from here. That means purport purpose identifies the point that actually, at least doing devotion service, leaving away speculative tendencies is a good and a fundamental starting point. Like that Prabhupada writes in the purport. Basically, it's a good first step towards the pure devotion service, like that. So that's what about text 67. So now, remember I said it's a foundational practice or basic practice, but that is a starting point. That's not the ultimate goal. That's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying, speak more on the subject, like that. Okay, 732 already. Let us see 69. Maybe 2 more verses we'll do at least, and then we'll continue. So Ramananda Rai continued. As long as there is hunger and thirst within the stomach. So this is giving an analogy. If you have hunger, then we'll feel happy eating lots of different kinds of food and drinks, like that. But if you're not hungry, we don't even relish that. Similarly, when we have the pure love for Krishna, then the different activities that we do in devotion service that give us transcendental bliss, like that he is explaining. This is 16th verse. So actually this verse onwards is going to the pure devotion service. Further, one more verse we'll read. He says pure devotion service in Krishna consciousness cannot be had even by pious activity in hundreds and thousands of lives. But it can be attained by only one thing. What is that? Intense greed to obtain it. So this is also in line with Bhakti Rasam Sindhu or Nectar devotion. How the eagerness is an essential qualification of bhakti, like that. Intense greed is saying, if it's able somewhere, one will purchase it without delay, like that. So this is the Prema Bhakti or the Vaidhi Bhakti is describing along with this. Prema Bhakti performed with Vaidhi Bhakti. Vaidhi Bhakti means what we are doing now, based on regulatory principles, understanding what is Guru and Sadhu Shastra saying, and we follow the rules, understanding that it's good for us, it's good to cultivate our devotion service, it's good to cultivate the right consciousness for us, like that. So that's what he's talking about then. Then, yeah. So now here, the point here is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wants even more. What is even more beyond regulative devotion service, Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti? That is the spontaneous devotion service, Raganaga Sadhana Bhakti. That is where the next set of verses will take us. I think this is a logical stopping point. We can continue from there next verse onwards next time. We'll pause here. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Let's offer obeisance to all the devotees of the Lord. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kupasindubhya vacha Adhitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Thank you, devotees. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.